Okay, karibuni sana tena na asanteni sana kwa kujiunga nasi. Tunakiita hichi kipindi Diaspora Wekeza 360. Tumekuwa actually tume rebrand from Diaspora FI ambayo ilikuwa ni financial independence. Tumefanya iwe more 360 ambayo tunaongelea na kujadiliana topics mbalimbali kuhusu jinsi ya kujenga, kukuza na kulinda utajiri wetu. So in English that is build, grow and protect our wealth. Na tunasema 360 kwa maana tunaangalia utajiri kwa upana wake, sio tu wa kifedha, meaning financial wealth, but pia tunaangalia utajiri wa kiafya, physical and mental health, kimahusiano, social wealth, network. Watu wengi tunasema network is your net worth. Utajiri wa muda, time wealth. Ili ni muhimu kwa sababu dimensions zote hizi zina affect pia our financial health and our well-being in general. So, the question maybe unaweza ukajiuliza wewe mwenyewe ni kwamba how wealthy are you, across those different dimensions, and which one is your most weakest health, and maybe you're most ill, and other ones ambayo you're very wealthy, and how do we grow together as a community. Leo tunaongelea kipengele kimoja cha utajiri ambacho kwangu mimi ni kila kitu. Na kinabeba all the different dimensions of wealth, which is our mindset, which contributes to our mental health. Na kwa sababu ukiwa na a more mindset ambayo imeganda, wanasema nini? Najua mgando, something, mindset mgando. I don't know the mindset in Swahili. Fikira mgando, I think that's what they say. Then itaku affect sana in all the dimensions, in your financial health, in your time wealth, kimahusiano, unaweza hata usiweze kuwa na network nzuri, and also obviously your mental health and physical health. Kwenye session yetu ya leo, tutakuwa tunatafuta majibu na kupata mwongozo wa jinsi gani tunaweza kutoka kwenye just kutengeneza pesa na utajiri kwa kutumia misuli na kuhamia akili zaidi, from muscle to brain. Inaitwa na mgeni wetu wa leo anaitwa Catherine Kabuka, ambaye pamoja na kofia nyingi sana ambazo anazo za kifamilia na kijamii, lakini pia anavaa kofia ya kuwa daktari wa afya, lakini pia na daktari wa afya ya jamii, public health, pia ni mtafiti, ni consultant, pia ni mtaalamu wa mipango mkakati, strategic planning expert, ni mfanyabiashara niseme, pia mwekezaji, pia ni kocha wa kitaaluma, career coach, na ni mwandishi. Catherine, kuna ambacho nimesahau labda?
Hapana Christine, na wacha niweke video.
Yeah. Nimejuana na Catherine for over a decade. Na huwa nasema kwamba it's a case of mentee turned mentor, na tumefanya kazi pamoja sana kwenye sekta ya afya Tanzania. Mimi nilikuwa mshauri wake na nafikiri sasa ni mshauri wangu. Kama nilivyosema, nilimpa kazi yake ya kwanza ya consulting, FHI 360 nilipokuwa nafanya kazi mimi, na yeye alipata na nyingi several after that. Na alipata yeye pia alikuja kuniajiri mimi kama mshauri kwenye kazi zake. I think ilikuwa kazi yake ya kwanza ya mambo ya mipango mkakati, strategic planning. Ni mtu ambaye mimi ninamfollow sana katika journey yake ya kimaisha, nikijua wazi tangu kwamba wakati huo kwamba atatoboa kimaisha. Yani nilikuwa najua the first time I met her, nikaanza kufanya naye kazi, the discipline ambayo alikuwa nayo ya kufanya kazi na jinsi ambavyo output za kazi zake, nilikuwa najua kwamba ataenda mbali. Kwa hiyo mimi niseme najisikia fahari sana kwamba nimekuwa part of her journey, lakini najua ambayo pia it's about to get started and even amplify in a big way, na ataweza kuelezea. Na pia napenda kushare naye kuhusu yeye na kile ambacho yeye ameweza kujifunza, na pia kile ambacho anacho cha kutuambia sisi with familia yangu ya diaspora. So Catherine, karibu sana to our diaspora family. We're usually very busy on Saturdays as well, lakini ndio muda ambao angalau mtu una flexibility kidogo kwa sababu labda hujabanwa na kazi. Kwa hiyo ndio maana tunakuwa tunafanya hizi sessions on Saturdays. Lakini huwa watu wetu wanakuwa wanaangalia recordings later. Kwa hiyo tunafanya, lakini tuna baadaye wanakuja kutufuata ukiangalia, na wanakuwa wana follow up na maswali. Kwa hiyo tuko pamoja na I've seen your evolution kama nilivyosema, from a consultant, then ukaanza kufundisha, then ukawa unafanya research, then ukaingia kwenye kuwa career coach na mambo ya strategic planning, and now you're an author. Na niseme tu kwamba kuna wakati ambao mimi nimeona jinsi ambavyo kuna switch ilitokea in you started becoming more visible, building your brand, and nikaona jinsi ukawa unavyozidi kujenga empire yako. So hebu kwanza labda utuambie about this journey ya kwako ya transformation, ya nini kilitokea mpaka ukaamua na vile vile ukafanya haya mageuzi ambayo tunaona matunda yake leo. Pia unaweza pia ukatuambia changamoto, just a high level, because najua utazipitia baadaye pia, ambazo ulizopitia hasa pale mwanzo wa mabadiliko. Karibu sana Catherine.
Thank you so much, Christine. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. And before I say anything more, Christine, is everyone here speaking Swahili? Should I be comfortable mixing, or is this a...
Napenda lugha ya taifa zaidi, lakini you are free to mix.
Okay, nimeona unaongea Kiswahili pia. So
Yes.
nikiongeaga na watu ambao wanatoka nchi kama Marekani, nasahau kwamba kumbe kuna Waswahili kule. So this is good.
We have a Ugandan with us. Karibu
Oh.
sana.
Nashukuru sana. So for the sake of a Ugandan, I will try to use English most of the time, since Ugandans have refused to be fluent in Swahili. Thank you so much for having me. I truly appreciate this opportunity to engage with the US diaspora from Tanzania. I greatly appreciate it. And as Christine said, I am very passionate about sharing my experience with professionals. I've been coaching professionals across Africa and beyond. So every time I get an opportunity to share my experience, my expertise, I get carried away. So Christine, wewe unanishtua, unaniambia please stop there. Nikuulize swali lingine. Yeah, perhaps just to start directly with the first question that you asked me. What pushed me to seek more in terms of, not remaining in one place like what many people do? I believe it's because of where I come from. I came from a very humble, I must say, very humble beginning. Now I had a lot of responsibilities from a very young age. Perhaps that has been one of the very, pushing factor for me to, try to do more and achieve more so that I can help my family and others. Christine, with your permission, let me just share very, very briefly where I come from, so that perhaps people can get a sense of why I'm doing everything I'm doing, and perhaps it might relate to background some of the people here. So let me say, I almost didn't go to secondary school, actually. If I can just start there, I just passed my O-level secondary school, and at that time my dad was very sick. And just before I was about to go there, he was very sick to the extent that he couldn't work anymore. So he didn't have money to pay for school fees. And he said, we can let this go and we'll get you another school when I get better, which he didn't. He didn't get better, but I think my mom, he did fight for me. So I went to high school because of help of the neighbors. We went, door to door, knocking, asking. We asked a few relatives. They donated. It was not enough. At that time in Tanzania, high school was not free. Secondary school was not free. We had to pay. And it was a boarding school, so it was more than school fees. So I got, donations in African setting, walking door to door. And I lost my dad just after the first term in my secondary school. And then after that, my uncle took over, helped me on my mother's side. And then my siblings also, my mom was not working, so I had to take care of them. So that is where I come from. So from that time, even when I used to come back on holidays, I used to help my mom with small businesses, these small, vegetable shops. They call it genge, and a lot of other things, really. So I was also exposed to entrepreneurship at a young age. But all in all, I had a huge responsibility. And when I got a chance to go to college, my goal was to help my family, especially my mom, who really did a lot to make sure that I went to school at the time that my dad couldn't support me. So why did I do all that? As I was going through medical school, as Christine said, I'm a medical doctor. That's my background. I wanted to become a doctor, but then, the pay was really not enough because of the responsibilities. So I started thinking about how can I make more money. So then I found myself going to, of course, studying more. That's what we usually do. Unataka uongeze elimu ili mshahara upande. So I went for my master's and then PhD. Came back, the money was not that much really again. So my mind was racing, and then I came across consulting, and that's where I met Christine for the first time. And then I started getting paid in dollars as a daily rate. Again, I wanted more, so I kept pushing. And then I realized all these things that I'm doing right now. So I've been really learning and trying to learn from other people, observing other consultants, other professionals. And that's how I came with this from muscle to brain framework. I started exploring. There was a time when I realized actually there were people who were ready to pay for my expertise. So I did not have to earn just by doing, executing tasks from my clients. There are people who are ready to pay for me to teach them what I'm doing, even how to consult. So I started master classes in research, master classes in consulting, and then online coaching. I started coaching. There were people who wanted more. I started a coaching program. I have a one-on-one, I call them strategy calls. People are paying me per hour. And then the book, I have online courses. So the possibilities, what I concluded is that the possibilities, when you have knowledge, the possibilities are endless, but most of us, we don't leverage on them. And there are so many reasons for that. And I will stop there. And that's what I try to do more research. It was for me as I was trying to learn more, but then I realized that actually there are a lot of barriers also from the people I was coaching. I've coached around 500 professionals across Africa. I started in 2023. Some just coaching in one-on-one short coaching, others 1 year coaching program, others short masterclass, webinars. So I've also learned a lot from other professionals, and these are things that I share in the book as well. So I'm going to stop there, Christine, and perhaps let you ask follow-up questions.
Asante. And I'm going to apologize to Vanessa because I'm hoping that you can speak a little bit more Kiswahili and mixed with English as well. Just because that's something ambayo we prefer in, in the diaspora and we like it. Because we don't get to hear Swahili as much in our dailies, right? So we love it when we have these webinars in Kiswahili. So mix it a little bit more. And Vanessa, I'm happy to translate that for you. I don't mean to only speak Swahili, but definitely mix it up. Now, thank you for your depiction of your journey ambayo tunajua kwamba it was tough. You had a hard start, and huku tuna msemo ambao unasema necessity is the mother of invention, or maybe we can say innovation. So usually when you have something ambayo inakupush like your why, wewe ilikuwa ni kwamba unategemewa nyumbani, it really pushes you to do more, right? And certain decisions that you make in life are dependent on that. So now tunatamani kujua zaidi. You just launched, congratulations very much. You just launched your book, From Muscle to Brain, and I have it. So I'm gonna share it with me because I bought it from Amazon and I started reading it for Maliza. It's available on Amazon, guys. So can you tell us about the framework ambao umetengeneza, From Muscle to Brain? Hii framework inamuhusu nani, inahusu nini, na unaitumiaje? And you have the co-host, so you should be able to share your slides. Na pia unaitumiaje?
Sawa, thank you. So let me share my slides. Let me know if you can see my slides.
Yep.
Okay,
I can see your
wonderful.
slide.
Right. So I have already said why I created this framework. And just in a nutshell, these are other reasons as well. Sababu zingine ni ambavyo nimeviona na I told myself kwamba I don't want to, sitaki kuwa kama watu wengi ambao nawaona. Most of us, we work so hard on a daily basis, na ukishakuwa mzuri kwenye unachokifanya kama consultant, it's even more. Kila siku, you don't have time to yourself. For yourself, unajikuta huna muda pia for your loved ones. And I've seen people working mpaka old age. And I told myself, I really don't want that. So option kwa watu wengi imekuwa ni kuwekeza. And that's what I've started to do. Nimekuwa nawekeza siyo kwenye hisa, kwenye government bonds, kwenye UTT. I've been telling several people that my financial goals zilikuwa ndogo sana wakati nawekeza, and most of us, we don't think about how we can make more money zikatusaidia uzeeni using our expertise, kwamba our expertise iendelee kutuserve kwenye age kama ya huyu mzee. Tukifika age hii tuna option mbili, either to extend contract ambao naona watu wengi wanafanya kwa Tanzania lakini na nchi zingine, ili uendelee kulipwa, kwa sababu unakuta hata yale mafao hayatoshi. Option nyingine ndo hiyo, uchukue mafao ufuge kuku na kadhalika, uendelee kufanya biashara ndogo ndogo. Na option nyingine ya tatu ndo hiyo ambao sasa watu wengi tulikuwa tunafanya, including myself, uwekeze kwenye shares, kwenye bonds na vitu kama hivyo. But I realize kwamba hizo option zote kwa watu kama sisi ambao hatuna biashara kubwa kama Baresa na more, our financial goals zinakuwa ndogo sana. But what we don't know ni ambacho pia hiki kitabu kinafungua sasa, ni option zilizopo ambazo unaweza ukatumia ujuzi wako na huu ujuzi ukakutengenezea a lot of money, much more kuliko hela ambazo ungepata kwenye bonds. And that is the reason ambayo nimekuwa nawaambia watu kwamba my financial goals now, they scare me because I know what is possible. So I already told you this story. Huwa natumia hii picha wakati naongea kuhusu my humble beginning. But this is the framework now. This is the framework. Wacha niende kwa framework moja kwa moja so that we have enough time for discussing this framework. Now, what I came to realize wakati ninafanya hizi kazi zangu zote, nilikuja kugundua, na of course nilifanya na a lot of research, nikagundua kuna level 5 za mafanikio kwenye taaluma yoyote, and they are very distinct. Kuna level 5. Level ya kwanza ni kuwa employed, ambayo ndo level ambayo watu wengi tunafahamu. When you are going to university, unaambiwa soma upate kazi uajiriwe. Wachache sana wanaenda level ya pili, ambayo naita freelancing or independent consulting. Na wengine unakuta akienda pale, mambo yakikwama, anarudi tena kwenye ajira. Lakini level ya 3 ni pale ambapo mtu sasa, na ndizo nilizopitia mimi nilianza kuajiriwa, nikaja kufanya freelancing, lakini wakati kazi zimezidi sasa, nikaja kuregister firm ya research. Other people, they have companies, whatever services they're offering or products, whatever it is. So that is a third level. Na level ya 4 ni communication and influence. As you might guess already, jinsi unavyoenda juu watu wanapungua sana. Very few people wana guts ya kuanzisha kampuni, ni wachache sana, wengi wanaogopa. Kwa hiyo wengi wanaishia level 1, majority wana stuck kwenye level 1. Wachache wanaenda level 2, wana freelance. Fewer wanaenda level 3, very few. Na wengine wanaenda level 4 ambao ni very few. Level 4 ni communication and influence. Na level 4 and 5 ndo level ambazo unaanza kufaidi matunda ya ujuzi wako. Bahati mbaya, extremely few people, professionals, wanafika kwenye hizo levels. And my book is part of a movement ya kuweza kupush professionals in Africa kufika level hizo. Kwa sababu hizo level, ukiacha mafanikio yako binafsi pia, ina impact other people. What do you mean by communication and influence? This is where mtu anaweza kutumia ujuzi wake ku communicate through things like books, media, just like kitabu nilichoandika. But I'll go through level by level in a moment. But just know kwamba you communicate now. Instead of doing, you are communicating. And level 5, I call it thought leadership. Now, before I go through level by level kwa haraka, niwachie muda wa maswali. Kuna kitu kimoja ambacho hii framework ambayo nimeielezea kwenye hicho kitabu is very attractive to all of us. It's our dream for all professionals. Jinsi unavyoenda juu kwenye hizo levels, unavyopanda, you make more money, you impact more people with your expertise, and you work less. Kwa hiyo jinsi unavyotoka kwenda level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, unatengeneza hela nyingi. Level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, una impact more people. Level 1, 2, 3, 4, you work less and less. But there is a very important shift that needs to happen for you to achieve that. And as I'm going to be describing the 5 levels, utaiona hiyo shift. And this is what I call the shift from muscle to brain. You have to shift from, you have to shift from depending on your muscle to make money and more on your brain to make money. And you are going to see that very soon. Kwa mfano, kwenye level 1, ambao ni full-time employment, hapa ndio unakuwa una fixed role and responsibilities, you are employed na employer moja. And this is where you also have lowest impact, kwa sababu una impact wale watu tu ambao wanafikiwa na organization yako. Na unakuwa na lowest income unless una operate kwenye level zaidi ya moja, which is possible, and I'll come back to that. Usipofanya kazi, hela ina stop kwenye hii level, so it is very risky. And many people, as I said, they remain stuck here for years for many reasons. Level 2, as I said, unafanya kazi kama freelancing, unakata multiple clients, obviously una impact more organizations, geographies, na influence yako ya expertise ina expand now beyond one employer or one department of the government kama uko kwenye serikali. Income inakuwa nyingi zaidi kwa sababu unalipwa sasa na clients zaidi ya mmoja and not just one salary. And this can become even more muscle driven, and this is what I faced. Ukipata clients wengi kwenye hii level kwa sababu you are a one man show, you are I call it a one person business. So you're doing a lot. You're not only working, you're managing a lot of other things. And a good number, as I said, wanna reach this level, lakini wengi hawafiki. Level 3, and this is where una offer services through a structured organization and a team. Impact inakuwa larger kwa sababu now you are leveraging other people. Kutengeneza hela, uliowa train, you make more money. Now, something I want you to note here is where the shift from muscle to brain starts. Unatakiwa sasa ushifti kutoka kwenye kuwa mtu ambaye ana execute, kwanza kuwa mtu ambaye ana offer strategic oversight, and that is the biggest barrier ya watu wengi, and it was to me for a long time, and the book has transformed me massively. Since I started writing this book, vitu ambavyo nimeviandika, nimevifanya, imenibadilisha sana, and one of them is shifting from doing and kwenda kwenye strategic oversight, kwa sababu it is only when you do that unaenda level 4 ambapo sasa unaanza kumonetize your knowledge through paid talks, books, courses, media appearances. At level 4, the options are endless. Ni nyingi mno. People make a lot of money here. It's annoying to see. Na watu wanaotengeneza hela nyingi unakuta ni mtu anakuja na kikitu tu, and it doesn't have to be hata kitu ulichosomea shule. Inaweza kawa tu life experiences. People want to learn from a problem you solve. It could even be going through divorce successfully. It could be even going through a depression. It could be even how to manage time. You just need to create a brand in that area and be known as someone who knows a lot in that area. And the moment you do that, na watu wakakufahamu, you make a lot of money. And through my little research, nimeona watu wengi sana huko mliko, especially in the global north, watoto wadogo wanatengeneza hela nyingi mno kwa sababu tu ya kufundisha vitu ambavyo vya kawaida kabisa, ambavyo sisi ambao tuna elimu kubwa we don't leverage. Na kitu kingine ambacho nimegundua wakati nafanya hizi webinars, courses, na nimepata bahati ya kuwa exposed na several countries in Africa, kuna kiu kubwa ya knowledge from watu kama sisi, lakini we don't leverage on it. People don't know us. They don't know what we are good at. We are very much focused kwenye muscle, executing, and not leveraging on other avenues like sharing knowledge for a pay. And there are so many people who are ready to pay. And when you do that, the other beauty is you impact more people. You can imagine the book I've written, itaendelea kuimpact watu wengi, hata mimi sitakiwi kuwepo, which is also qualifies this level as primarily a brain-driven level, kwa maana ukiwa hapa sasa unaanza kutengeneza hela bila kuwepo. Ukiwa na online course, ukiwa na kitabu, sasa hivi naamka nakuta hela zinaingia dollars. It's beautiful, but everyone can do this. The 5th level is what I call thought leadership. Now here, the only difference in a level 4 is hapa you are communicating original ideas. You are creating things ambavyo ni original. And it's not rocket science. Ni vitu vya kawaida kabisa. Huwa natoa mfano mdogo sana hapa wa the so-called 5 seconds rule ya Mel Robbins. Nafikiri mnamfahamu. Ni kitu tu alijaribisha, it worked. Na akaibrand, imemtengenezea billions. She was the top paid woman public speaker. Very, very simple idea. People just want things that work. It could just be from your experience. Wala si lazima itoke kwenye expertise uliosomea. But very few people wanafika hapa. Now, when you reach this level, kwa sababu you have an idea ambayo ni original, watu wengi hawajaisikia, na of course lazima iwe ina produce results. People love results. People love new things. So hapa unakuwa na market kubwa, unakuwa na attention kubwa. So you will end up working even fewer hours, lakini unakuwa na engagement ambazo ni higher value. So this is where you could be called for highly paid keynote speeches, au elite coaching. Watu wana coach watu for thousands of dollars. Advisory role kwenye government na vitu kama hivyo. And at this level, you no longer pitch, you are invited. You shift from an expert, unakuwa authority in your industry. And most importantly, you leave a legacy because you create new things, a new framework that simplifies the processes and all that. The beauty about this framework is you can operate at multiple levels. You can operate at multiple levels. You can skip levels. You can shift from level 1 to level 4 and eventually level 5. And this is what napenda kuambia watu walio employed. Of course, tunahitaji watu kwenye sectors ambazo wako employed. We need people. Governments zinahitaji watu, institutions zinahitaji brilliant people, lakini we need to operate beyond employment, beyond our job descriptions. And this is what that book is all about, and my movement as well. So the key things is just being able to shift from muscle to brain. And this is a challenge I'm challenging all professionals to start thinking. It's not easy. There are a lot of barriers, lakini nimezielezea vizuri mno kwenye kitabu. Na what I promise people is if you read that book, your life will never be the same again because it's happening to me. And many people with appropriate guidance, you can reach mpaka level 5. Many people can do it. And watu wengi wanasema hawana time, and perhaps we can discuss that more later. I'm going to stop here. Lakini these are things that nimepitia huko. I was somebody who used to say sina muda, but I came to realize that we have enough time for everything. I'm going to stop there, Christine, and perhaps let you ask follow-up questions.
Sure.
Thank you so
Sure.
much.
Yeah. Thank you so much for that overview. I liked some vitu ambavyo umeongelea. I think ni level 4 where sisi tunasemaga huku making money while you sleep, right? We wanna all be
Yeah,
making money while we sleep and ili tuwe na freedom ya kufanya vitu vingine. Na ni kweli kwamba kuna so many barriers na actually kuna barriers nyingine ambazo ziko tofauti in the diaspora context ziko tofauti, and I'd like us to kind of get into that. So as I was reading, level 1, thought, okay, it's okay to move from level 1 to 2. It's kind of easy. Na unaweza kwenda back and forth. I thought like, okay, unaweza leapfrog pia from level 1 to, level 4 kama ulivyosema pia. Nafikiria pia okay, people, a lot of us also maybe we move from level 1 and 2 and back and forth. Level 2 to 3 somewhat hard, lakini possible. Lakini pia I've seen many people, you stay in level 2. I hope kwamba you can maybe, you can say you stay in level 2 and never coming out of it. Na huku wana msemo wanaita founder's trap, right? Which I think you talk about the founder's trap here on page 23. You talk about, and I'll read that page. Too many firm founders remain trapped in level 2 habits, signing contracts under the company name while still handling most of the delivery themselves. They hesitate to trust others, fearing quality might drop, and in the process, they block the very growth they hope to achieve. So I'd like for you to talk a little bit about that, because why is it so difficult to sort of let go to grow, right? Because you got to let go, delegate. Now this is very relevant for the diaspora context, because one of our big barriers is time, right? And wewe umesema sasa hivi kwamba you actually don't think kwamba time is an issue, because we are wearing so many hats, and as parents, as mtu wa jumuiya, whatever, tuna kazi zinatumana sana, so that's a big constraint for us, right? And I'll say this, I want to kind of give examples as how difficult it is diaspora context versus nyumbani. So I remember when I was owning my business, when I was in Tanzania, I owned an event rental business, right? And I operated at L2, but it wasn't for long. So I moved to L3 very quickly. And it was because it was easy. You have laborers, I don't want to say cheap labor, but affordable, fair price, maybe, I don't know, laborers. So I started delegating small functions, right? Like ordering, kwenda kuchukua vitu, kwenda kudeliver vitu. And then the whole chain, I eventually delegated the whole chain from ordering all the way to inventory management. So I wasn't even part of that picture at all, right? Which was like, I think, I don't know, I didn't get to, I guess it's now level 5 to level 5 to level 4 to level 5. But then I have a friend here in the United States, and they're operating very successfully, a very good business, but they're operating between level 2 and 3. And nowadays, I think more level 2. And whenever I ask them, like, why are you not delegating this, or why are you not creating a system? And I said, no, it's not going to work because it's too complicated. The clients, it's very hard to create a system for those clients because everything is so individualized, right? So I asked myself, like, how long are you going to sustain this? Because, you will fade out of, yani wewe kuna siku ambayo utaumwa, and biashara itasimama, au hautakuwepo, biashara itasimama. So can you talk a little bit about the Founders Wrap in the context of diaspora and how we can't let go to grow and how we can address that.
Yeah, so there are several things that you mentioned. I think there is an issue of delegation, but also there is an issue of time, which are related concepts, but not necessarily the same. I'm going to start with the first issue of delegation, um, because I was, I am someone who relates a lot with that. Of course, I'm on the other side, but I also talk about your side. But let's consider the normal situation of, African setting where we have affordable people that we can delegate to, and still many people don't, and I was one of those. So we were still experiencing the same founder trap that you described. And for many years, I was one of those people who was worried to delegate. And it's, for good reasons, because most of the time, especially this side of the world in Africa, we don't have people who are that much, who cares that much as you do, especially if it's your business. So this could be soft skills, but also it could be technical skills. Technical skills you can teach people, you can build their capacity, but then there are other things like technical skills and soft skills, and this is where systems comes in place because these are things that you need to create system to develop soft skills so that you can rest. And I invested in those things. And in fact, I have tried a little bit talk about delegation in the book, but it's a wider topic, I must admit. But there are a couple of things that needs to happen before someone can delegate effectively, but it is doable. And once I managed to do that, it was the only way that I got time to work on the book, to work on the online courses, and to work on a lot of other things that I'm doing. And it was, the impact was so massive. And I could see how much it was holding me back, not being able to invest in training people, which needs time, of course. Once you do, it really takes a lot of load from you. But then you talked about, the fact that there are things that needs to be personalized. From my personal experience, almost everything can be delegated. However, there are services that, yes, you may keep offering yourself as an individual. And this is where there's a book I read by Russell Brunson. It's called Expert's Secret. He stresses on making sure that if it happens that you have to be the one offering the services, then you want to make sure you position yourself in a way that you can do that at a very good price. So your value needs to be high. Then if you follow what I have described in my muscle to brain framework, then you'll be operating at thought leadership level. And then people will need to choose between working with you directly at that high rate. Then you just have to maybe two assignments, two clients who are able to pay that high ticket offer. But then you make sure that you have a team that is well trained and you have systems and processes in place for them to be able to offer the same services, almost quality services at a reasonable rate that many people can afford. But what I can say is, I think it's more of the mentality shift rather than saying it cannot be done. And this is something I'm also challenging myself. I was there. I was someone who used to think I cannot delegate. The first time I did it, there was a country director for an organization who decided to be the one on the front line to manage the activity. And on this side, it was me under my firm contracted, and this country director hard to communicate with a team member below me because I have told myself that I'm not going to be managing activities. So those are the hard decisions. It felt uncomfortable. But the person I've delegated it to, she was doing so well that this country director was comfortable. And he was addressing her in the emails, and I was being copied. But that's the system I put in place, that every project has a manager who is trained, they have all the tools, and I only chip in when necessary. It is the only way you can manage multiple projects as well, because you cannot split yourself in half. Otherwise, you'll be burnt out and you won't be able to progress to higher levels of financial freedom.
So maybe it's true. So you're saying kwamba time management partly is a mindset issue.
And time, I did not talk about time. You said something about time.
Okay.
Let me address that a little bit.
Delegation,
Yes.
you started with delegation. Delegation
Yes.
is a mindset issue. I think that's
Yes.
what and then we'll talk about time.
Yes.
Maybe just say, Kuna, I also have a delegation issue. I think I'm
Yeah.
better. It's one of the things I have an issue with. There is this book, Getting the Monkey Off the Back. I'll put the link on Amazon that helped me to kind of, could let go on some things, but it's something ambayo bado naifanyia kazi. Maybe if it helps. And maybe somebody here ambaye anaweza kaa ana some ideas or like to know, maybe you can feel free to raise your hand if you have something ya kuchangia, kwa sababu wote tuna experiences zetu, wote tuna resources zetu, na it's good to exchange and share. But let's talk about the time.
Time is another very interesting topic, Tina and others. And the things I'm talking about, I want to tell you and encourage you that these are things that I have been trying, piloting, testing. So I'm not talking about things that I read in books. These are things that I did. All in the trial and error of trying to achieve more and do more. So time was one of the biggest challenges. And my conclusion is there is time, more time than we think in a day. That is my conclusion. We have a lot of time but most of the time, it's the issue of time management. I know some of you might be angry with me right now, but it is true. It is true because this is what I've realized among the people I'm coaching, and I proved them wrong because I have a career advancement consulting and career advancement masterclass that I offer, and I'm welcoming you to join. I have the final session, online session this year on December 1st to 5th, an online one. I'll be doing another in Kampala in Kenya sometime soon, this November. However, what I wanted to mention is in that masterclass, I share what I call high productivity hacks. And these are things that I designed. They're not very complicated. They're very simple, like the 5 seconds rule for Mel Robbins. But these are things I tried. And they're all based on the fact that we lose a lot of time. And I'm going to ask you a question, and perhaps I can let you answer this question before I continue. How many of you, I see there are 15 people, please give me a thumbs up if you believe in this statement. The same task that could take you 1 hour can take you 4 hours and even a full day, 8 hours. The same task that you can accomplish in 1 hour can take you 4 hours, even more. Who agrees with that statement? Thank you, Judy, for being honest. I see a couple of thumbs up. Now we're talking. Quite a good number of thumbs up. The same task. I'm sure we have all experienced that. The same task that can take you 1 hour can take you 5 hours, and you may go to the office and go back home and you have not accomplished that task. And it's especially true if you don't like what you're doing or you don't like that specific task. That is where procrastination comes in. And then we spend a lot of time also with perfection. You are repeating things and not making progress. So, for example, there's something I do. It's one of my high productivity hacks. I set time to accomplish task. I might just challenge myself. I want to get this section done in half an hour or in 1 hour. Maybe I'm writing something. And the moment I put that stopwatch on, it takes care of a lot of things. I will not procrastinate. I will not touch my phone because I just want to beat that time and finish on time. And then I'll be highly efficient, and I will not like the perfectionism of, rereading things, and, it just takes care of that. But there are a couple of other things that I have been trying to do that literally doubled my productivity. And I believe it's even more when I become more serious. Things like putting your phone away as well. Of course, the phone you set a stopwatch. I have two phones. So there is one that is very work related. It doesn't have WhatsApp and all that. So this is what I use. And another one that has all these things. It's quiet, no notification, but the phone is, when it rings, I have to stand up and go take it. When the phone is here, but when you're working, you will check it. And once you start checking it, and this is another joke that I usually tell people, and almost everyone agrees, you might want to write a message on the phone. You take it, you want to send a message maybe to your mom on something very important. And the moment you get on WhatsApp, you do a couple of other things and you put your phone down and you don't do what you wanted to do. You don't send that message. And then later you remember, oh, I wanted to send that message. You take it, but the moment you get in there, you start reading other messages, you go on LinkedIn, you go on Instagram. But that's how we waste time. And there are a lot of other things which I cannot mention here. I discussed them in my masterclass, which are things that you can do and you can literally have time. And as I said, these are things that I have been trying, and I found out that I was achieving more, accomplishing more in a day, and I even get time to rest. It just needs some sort of discipline and, implementing quite a few things, and you find out that you have more time than you think.
Yeah, I would like to hear from my diaspora family about what she said, na kama inaweza ikafanya kazi kwetu sisi ambao bado still unarudi nyumbani, bado kutoka kazini inabidi umpikie mtoto, upikie familia kwa wanawake au wanaume pia, na shughuli nyingine. Just wanna hear from people.
And Christine, naongelea ofisini, nyumbani mi nikirudi napika, nafanya vitu vyote hivyo. I mean, well I can, kwa sababu narudi saa 12:30.
Yes,
Lakini kwa
but
sababu
Catherine,
naweza kuafford.
I know, but Catherine, you're working on your own business. Sasa wengine ambao sisi tuko kwenye L1, kwa hiyo tuna work for other people. And then we have
Okay.
to come back home, work for the family, and then we gotta do our other stuff. Anybody wants to say something? Watu wako kimya.
Watu wako kimya.
Alex, I know they're quiet. Yeah, kwa sababu it can be a challenge, lakini ni kweli kwamba if you start monitoring your time kwenye screen kwa mfano na hizo distractions, they can be very very destructive, unaona lakini if you maybe let's go to even the first level, moving from first to two, unaona or even just getting out of one. Judy ngoja nimalize afu utaongea. Can be very very difficult na kama ulivyosema unaweza ukafanya level 1 na pia 2 and 3, right, or 4, but getting out of employment because it's a comfort zone as well, right, can be very challenging. And I know you you kind of leapfrogged. You went into level 2 and then 3, right? You didn't do the employment part. So I'd like you to talk a little bit about that as well. But before, in terms of barriers or maybe tips of how we can move from that. But Judith, you had something to say, you had your hand up.
Yeah, nilikuwa nasema kuhusu hii issue ya time management na huku Marekani. It's very important kwa sababu nimekuja kugundua kitu kimoja. Mimi I never used to have TikTok, right? Kwa hiyo watu wakinitumia hizi clips za TikTok nini, I'm like, no, I don't have TikTok. So unfortunately nika download TikTok. So if you are not really careful, utajikuta una spend a lot of time kwenye hizi social media. Especially sisi ambao tuko huku, saa nyingine unatoka kazini either iwe saa 10 alafu uanze kupika, watoto wanataka uwasaidie homework, alafu unafanya hivi. So finally ukishakaa chini kupumzika, mimi nawaambiaga wanangu, ikifika saa 2 sitaki mtu yoyote kumwona mtu yoyote. Jiko limefungwa, kama ujala utajijua. Kwa hiyo ukishakaa chini unasema okay, let me catch up with today's what's going on. Before you know it, you're 45 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour into social media. So yes, maybe saa nyingine ya mambo mengine we might just need to delete these things. Kwa mfano mie, because labda siwezi kujicontrol. Maybe just go for like fast ya social media, ili uone jinsi gani huo muda unaotumia kwenye social media utakusaidiaje kwenye mambo, kuplani vitu vyako vingine. Those are my 2 cents.
Yeah, na tusisahau WhatsApp ni social media vile vile. Because tunatoka huko tunatoka kwenye I know mimi Instagram and Facebook I don't do. My play area is LinkedIn. Lakini unakuta natoka huko, lakini WhatsApp, I'm on WhatsApp all the time, you know? So kwa hiyo tusisahau kwamba WhatsApp is also social media. Yeah. It's a challenge. I think you have to connect with your why and really build your focus muscle. I think that's what it is. Alfred?
Dada, asante sana kwa presentation nzuri. Tena asante kwa organize na Dakota. Swala la time management nafikiri ni kubwa. Lakini kama mlivyosema unaweza ukaondoa kimoja kwa move nyingine. Mimi sina Facebook, I don't do Facebook, I don't do Insta, I don't do TikTok. The only thing I have is WhatsApp, and sometimes inapoteza muda wangu. I'm working on that. Lakini question ambayo mimi ninao, kwa sababu na background ya Dakahabuka inafanana kidogo na wengi wetu, kwamba tumetoka kwenye very humble means. Tumejitahidi, tumekuwa, tumesoma, tumefanya hiki na kile, grow professional, lakini one of the thing ambayo nafikiri inasumbua sana ni noise from your background. Kwenye different watu ambao wanakutegemea au zile expectations ambazo watu wanazo over you, ambazo unafikiri kwamba unapaswa kusupport au kuwasaidia. Nataka nione kama how did you deal with that situation where you cut the noise, because sometimes it's not the issue of time, it's the amount of noise you allow in your life ambayo inachukua muda wako mwingi kwenye kufocus on developing yourself and try to pursue your dreams. How did you cut the noise? And how do you cut the noise?
Alfred, that's a very good question. It is true. It is true. And let me say that the noise, it may not only be from your actual relatives, it can also be from just the community, especially in Africa, where, neighbors, a friend of your mom is your relative. So you can receive calls throughout the day, visits, and even your colleagues, people you went to college pamoja. And wakati naongelea time management, wapendwa, and this is serious. Nilikuwa naongea na nani sijui siku za nyuma. Nikiwapa mfano, nilikuwa natoa mfano wa kitabu changu hiki nilichoandika. Nikawa nasema hiki kitabu kina page 200 kama na 40. Ukiandika page moja kila siku, unaandika kitabu in a year. And the book is something that will bring your authority to you immediately. And most of us tuna knowledge ambao we can transform kwenye kitabu. na ukishakuwa na kitabu umebadilika kabisa. We all know that. But mtu kama mimi pia sikuwa naweza kuandika kitabu. It took discipline for me to create time, and na ndio nilikuwa na challenge, nasema pia sio baada ya kazi, within yale masaa ya kazi, within masaa ya kazi, including kuzuia watu. Let me tell you how I manage now. Ilifika kipindi hapa ofisini, my team members, they cannot knock on my door kabla ya saa 6 mchana. I stopped it. Kwa sababu the moment mtu anakuja ofisini unafanya kitu, akisha kudistract, umepiga story, umepita muda, umeondoa flow, ukirudi unaanza upya. Takes time. Takes time. So that moment ambayo akili inafanya kazi, huwa na focus. I do the same. My mom knows, anajua mama yangu mzazi kabisa, ambaye ndio nampenda kuliko watu wote, anafahamu hawezi kunipigia simu kabla ya saa 6 unless ni emergency. It takes that discipline, but I know huo muda kuanzia saa 2 mpaka saa 6 I will accomplish a lot. People knows, walinzi wangu getini wanajua mtu hawezi kuja ofisini kwangu bila appointment. Walishawahi kumrudisha mpaka kiongozi wa serikali na gari kabisa, namba za STJ. Nikamwambia nyewe watoto hamuogopi? They say ulituambia sisi. Akanipigia simu pale, yani alikuwa na namba yangu akapiga. Walimuuliza una appointment? Sina. Mpigie. Because those are the strict rules. Unataka upige hatua, husogei, and you just have to be strict with your time. Kwa sababu what I tell people is most of the time we work on other people's goals and not our own goals. And that needs to change. Mpaka nimeshifti sasa hivi, asubuhi nikifika naanza na goals zangu mwenyewe, kwa sababu unajua za client nitafanya tu hata kama nimechoka, ila nikiziweka za kwangu mwisho, nikifika kule nimechoka mchana, basi ni za kwangu zitasubiri. You don't make progress. So I decided the first 2 hours in the morning are mine to spend on my personal goals. I'll stop there.
Hujasemwa najumuia kwamba kuna hilo pia.
No. Uzuri si nafanya vitu, so kwamba I make time to speak na watu, but people knows I am busy, but you cannot make progress pia bila kusemwa. Kama wamesema then sijasikia, lakini wengi they know kwamba I help. It's the only way, Christine. It's the only way. So kwamba wanioni, lakini wananiona kwa mpango maalum, ama sivyo utatumia muda wako mwingi unaongea tu na watu na meetings ambazo they don't take you anywhere.
Yeah. Kaka Alfred, ulikuwa na follow up?
Hapana. I agree. Kuna a lot of selfishness ambayo, what we call selfishness, but it has to go. I think I believe in intent. Maybe if you have good intentions, I don't think it's a problem. But I just had to ask. Nafikiri that's the problem with most of us in diaspora, I feel like.
Okay. Na nyumbani pia, I think nyumbani is even worse kwa sababu kuna a lot of social obligations ambazo lazima, yani usipoonekana nini watu hawakuelewi. Huyu atasema kwamba yule apokee simu or things like that. Mpaka mtu aje kukuelewa inachukua muda. Naomba turudi kule kwenye swali ambalo nilikuwa nimeuliza la L1 to L2 au ku get out of L1. Na inahusiana pia na time kwa sababu one of the things ambazo najua, samahani, nafikiri ni kwangu mnasikia makelele. No? Okay. My kids are shouting.
I can't hear them.
Time to reflect.
Yeah.
Yeah? There's a concept Marekani tunaita rat race. Meaning like a rat and yuko tu and I just continuously racing, do this, we don't leave time to reflect. And one of the things ambazo uliniambia in terms of your time, the guide, you spend a lot of time reflecting, right? Maybe you can talk about that. Sababu, and I speak to this in relation to najua hiyo ina cover everything. Like in particularly getting out of employment, one of the other issues we have is we don't know what we're qualified and whether we can monetize, au have impact on hivyo vitu ambavyo tulivyo navyo. Unaona eh? Kwa mfano ukiniambia mimi najua nilifanya na wewe strategic planning. I am a strategic planning expert. I've written frameworks, hizo unazozongelea for others ziko katika organization hizo zifanya nazo kazi. But I don't necessarily sell that, which is what to make millions out of it, right?
Yeah.
So how do I identify myself? Kwa sababu tunaifikiria ndo kazi yangu, ndo profession yangu, lakini it's attached to the employer. Unaona? How do you first kind of, as part of reflection, identify those qualifications onazo, our talents? A talent is another thing. And then get to package those in a way ambao wanasema I can monetize this,
Yeah.
if you can talk about that.
Actually, Kristen, I talk about that a lot in a book on level 5, thought leadership, ambao ni level ambayo watu wengi hatufiki. Na I usually have this a joke ambao wanawaambia watu muongelea rat race. I have a joke ambao wanasema most of us African professionals, we are innovating in real time. We never take time to sit down and reflect what is working, under what circumstances, why, or what steps are needed, or kitu gani nimefanya mpaka hiki kitu kimefanikiwa kiasi hiki. I also hear that a lot kwenye strategic planning activities za organizations ambazo ninasaidia. Watu wanafanya vitu vizuri sana kwenye program, wanatengeneza results, lakini documentation hakuna of how those results were achieved. Those crucial components ambazo zinasema why, under what circumstances, and for who, and those are the key things, and those are the things that you would later on package in a framework. And the framework is a low-hanging fruit, by the way. I learned about frameworks in one of the books I was reading, and I loved it. I loved the concept kwa sababu it's a very simple concept, lakini concept ambayo mtu yoyote anaweza akaitumia. Na umetoa mfano kwamba umetengeneza frameworks, na frameworks hazijaanza leo, ziko kwenye kila kitu. Kuna framework for everything kwenye hii technical world, lakini as you have correctly said, most of the frameworks sio za Watanzania au Afrika. Most of the frameworks zinatoka huko kwa watu fulani, na huwa nawatania watu wanaohudhuria my master classes. Unajua wanawaambiaje? Sisi tunazitengeneza zile framework in real time. Anatoka mtu kwenye Global South anatuhoji sisi, anafanya interviews na watu kadhaa, alafu anaenda kutengeneza ile framework, anaibrand, anaiandikia kitabu, anakuwa expert, anakuja kutuuzia, tunaziadapt tena za kwetu wenyewe. And that needs to change. And swali ulioniuliza kwamba ukiwa umeajiriwa, nafikiri this is something ambacho pia in my movement, I don't call the From Muscle to Brain only a book, it's a movement. Kati ya one of the things ambazo nina challenge professionals wanao operate kwenye level 1 ni kufikiria jinsi ya kwenda kwenye level 4 na 5, kwa sababu ni rahisi sana. Watu wengi wana uzoefu wa muda mrefu sana, kama wewe Christine, nikutumia wewe kama mfano. Vitu ulivyokuwa unafanya, yes, ulikuwa unafanya kwa ajili ya organization, lakini ulikuwa unatumia akili yako. Those frameworks you were creating, sidhani kama kuna organization inakukataza kushare tips on what you know. I do not think so. On LinkedIn, let's say, if you are facilitating a strategic planning process, ndo kazi yako. Kuna kaka mmoja Kenya, he's my mentee. Nilimchallenge hivyo hivyo. Ameanza very good kwenye M&E. Amefanya maorganization mengi kweli. Ameanza kushare tips on LinkedIn kwenye mambo ya M&E. Ameajiriwa full time. Lakini this ni knowledge yako, and you can create a framework hata kama ulitengeneza kule ndani wakati wa kazi. But you can brand it, improve it. And the moment you brand it and give it a name and convince people kwamba it works, it is yours. There's no excuse.
How do people feel about that? About what alichokisema sasa Catherine? Kwa jinsi ambavyo vitu ambavyo tunavitumia kazini ambavyo tunaweza kuvitumia kwa sisi wenyewe. ugumu wake, urahisi wake, is it possible?
I personally think it's possible. We just need to, it's a change of mindset. I think that's what I'm hearing from Catherine. It's more of a mindset
Absolutely.
changing more than anything else.
Mhm.
We have this tendency of separating life so much, ourselves, like we're just a commodity. We just go there, we do what we're supposed to do. When we live there, we don't feel like we have the ability to do the same thing by ourselves. So I think it's just a change of mindset.
Nyingine na I think Catherine, hapa ndo issue ya if you can talk a little bit about reflection na rat race. Kwa sababu I think we don't spend enough time to do that. And I think so. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe mwingine anaweza chime in. You guys are too quiet. So I'm gonna start having to call people. Oh. Jamani, karibuni mwongee. Kaka Shabani.
Mi nakubaliana na Alfred alivyosema, it's all about mindset. Nadhani na hii culture yetu ya Marekani na is the corporate America responsibilities, we don't see is expertise zetu kwamba we can change our mindset tuanze kutumia hizi kutengeneza hela. Umenielewa? Kwa mfano example, kwa mfano kama alivyokuwa anasema wewe Tina, you do a lot for the organizations, I do a lot, ngoja kwa example kama mimi, right? Nimeanzisha Airbnb Zanzibar wakati niko hapa Marekani. A lot of people would love to know how I did that, right? Lakini you don't even think about, what, maybe I can have sessions niwaambie watu, how do you operate an Airbnb while you're in America?
Absolutely. Now you're talking. Yeah.
Umenielewa, hujawahi kufika hata hiyo sehemu ambayo Airbnb ipo, the amount of work you put into trying to identify the place, look at the market, kusoma, kuangalia sijui location gani ni nzuri na bichi nzuri, clients wa Marekani wanaenda wapi, around the world wanaenda which part of Zanzibar. You should be able to sell that, lakini hatuoni kama hizo nani knowledge ambazo tunazo it's worth selling that. So it's all about mindset.
Okay. Well put, Judy. Thank you.
Mwingine? Soon tutakuwa na darasa from Judy, anatuelezea jinsi ambavyo you can manage. Yeah. So there is something kuna mtu alisema, one of these self-development speakers alisema, the graveyard is the richest place on earth.
Oh yes.
And you know about that, yeah. Les Brown and also Pastor Miles, the late. Akanasema kwamba, and what they were saying is because that the most significant potential ambayo watu, unfulfilled dreams, ideas, and talents are lost forever when people die, right? Because they don't act on them, right? People don't act on them for whatever reasons that they have. And so it's related to what we're talking about here, because we sit and we have all these dreams, right? Ambitious people. If you're diaspora, you're ambitious. The reason why umeondoka nyumbani you're ambitious, period.
Yeah.
So you have all these dreams and you get into this rat race, unasahau, yani zinapita na muda unapita just like that. I mean, we're in October, which is the year has ended. And I remember, celebrating New Year's. Na vitu havijaenda.
Yeah.
So it's real. Catherine, talk about, I go back again to the reflection. When, how do we include that in our rat race life?
Christine, among things that changed my life, I think, is being able to set time in the morning to do that, because it is the only way you can go to higher levels, kwa sababu haya mambo yote ambayo tunayaongea ni lazima upange, lazima ufikirie, na bila kupata muda wa kukaa na kufikiria unajikuta huko tu kwenye maso. And that's the brain aspect of the framework. That's when you use the brain. You use the brain best when you stay quiet and think, reflect on what you have been working on. And that's how you can extract what is working, or the how you managed, how you did it, what were the key steps. It takes reflection, and not within a task. It is when you are sitting quietly. So kati ya vitu ambavyo ninashauri sana sana, and it is possible, ni kuset even half an hour asubuhi, na ndio muda ambao nasema tunaupoteza. And guys, let me tell you something. Ukitaka kujua unapoteza muda kwenye simu, kuna app moja inaitwa siwezi kuwaonyesha hapa kwa sababu itaniaibisha. Kuna siku ambazo huwa pia na mimi natumia simu sana, lakini kuna app iko kwenye simu nyingi, inaangalia your screen time. Simu nyingi zinayo automatically. Nawashauri sana muitumie kwa sababu digital well-being. Hii hapa inaitwa digital well-being. Leo nimetumia I'm not sure whether you can see, lakini inanionyesha nimetumia masaa 3 kwenye screen. WhatsApp lisali 1:28, lakini uzuri kuna kitu kinaitwa smart switch hapa, nimetumia lisali 1:4. LinkedIn dakika 31. Hii smart switch ndio imeniongezea muda leo. My goal huwa ni less than 2 hours. Smart switch nilikuwa nabadilisha simu leo, kwa hiyo ilikaa on muda mrefu, ina transfer data. Now, kama hii ndio ilionifungua macho. Nilikuja kuangalia nikakuta natumia masaa 5 mpaka 6 kwenye screen ya simu. It was an eye opening for me, and I encourage all of you. Huwa nawaambia my mentees pia wanakuwaga shocked, kwa sababu when things are happening, you don't pay attention. Itakuuma sana ukija kuona kwamba kumbe umetumia masaa 6 kwenye screen. So I encourage you, digital well-being. Kama hauna hiyo app, jaribu kuitafuta, muulize ChatGPT app gani inafaa simu yako. Kama haipo, download digital well-being, ikuonyeshe unatumia muda gani kwenye simu na unatumia masaa mangapi, kwenye vitu gani, kwenye apps gani. Huo muda ndio utakao ugawanya, upate muda wa kureflect asubuhi, upate muda wa kusoma kitabu. You just need like 2 hours na lisali 1 la kufanyia kazi chochote cha kwako, goal yako ya mbele. Half an hour, read a book. Half an hour, sit down and reflect. And then 1 hour, dedicate it to working on your personal projects. So take those 2 hours from the screen time and use it. Na ni umuhumu katikati ya kazi huku, tunacheki social media katikati ya siku humu. Huu muda naongelea ni muda ambao naonaga, nakuja asubuhi naamka 0, afu by the time naenda nyumbani umepiga masaa 5 kwenye screen. You're on mute.
Ngoja,
Yes.
okay. So ngoja mimi nijaibishe. So this is my phone. Si kama mnaiona
Yes.
screen. But since maana nimecheki. So with iPhone you have it directly, right?
Okay.
Ukienda kwenye setting, unaweza kwenda kwenye screen time, and where is that? There's the thing inaitwa screen time. Si kama mnaona. So it's really embarrassing, really bad. So si kama mnaona. You see?
Hatuoni wala nini, tuambie tu.
Oh boy, sorry. Kwa sababu ya hii nani.
Kwa
But
sababu ya screen nafikiri.
yeah, so my daily average is 7 hours, 25 minutes.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
this week. And I have spent productivity and finance 14 hours. Okay, so now I do a lot of podcasts and YouTube videos. So nikiwa hata kama nafanya kazi na safisha vyombo napika, I'm always listening, right? Which is not a good thing because I need quiet time as well. And then WhatsApp is the one ambayo nimetumia most, right? 16 hours. 4
In a
minutes
week.
on WhatsApp this week. YouTube 8 hours. Instagram 5 hours. I need to get out of Instagram again. And then Zoom 4 hours. So yeah, have a look and see. And then you can justify today. Mpaka sasa nimeshakuwa kwenye screen 2 hours and 50 minutes and 1 hour 34 minutes on WhatsApp. But it also counts how much time you are on the call or you're on mail or you're doing notes and stuff. But it's a good thing kuangalia, where am I spending my time when I'm on mobile, and have some sort of targets to be able to have.
Yeah.
Yeah. But one thing that I will also encourage people in terms, especially when you're professional, us about, we're professionals, we have a lot of experience and expertise and also talents, is to emulate others as well. I think sisi kama ambao tuko Marekani and now worldwide, we see a lot of people ambao wanafanya hivi vitu, they leverage their expertise. But the famous one, just to remind us all, nafikiri kila mtu anamjua. If you can just share like one person and what either principle or framework or theory ambayo it's like popular, ambayo imemtengenezea huyo mtu hela sana. Na mimi I'll start. If you can share that on chats, that would be nice, ambao mnaomjua, but I'll share mine, ambao tunajua Robert Kiyosaki, right, with the cash flow quadrant. Of course, he's made a lot of money on his investments kwenye real estate and whatever, but his cash quadrant, and then later having to write the book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, has earned him a lot, and maybe even more than what he's earning from his other assets. I don't know. Tony Robbins, I think maybe many of us know him, but he has I don't even like the rapid planning method, but ipo ambayo inatumika. So we see, you mentioned Mel Robbins' 5-second rule as well.
Yeah.
So maybe people can share some other ones ambazo tunazo yani among us, and even your own maybe that you have ya kushare. Now let's get into questions and more dialogue. Before we're gonna close, we had put in like up to 2 hours, so up to 1 o'clock. Hopefully we don't get all the way there. But before we do that, I want to just highlight kwamba hichi kitabu kiko Amazon. I've added a link. Again, si kama kinaonekana. I have to put my, but kipo Amazon, so you can go and buy it. It's only 2 cups of Starbucks, tena grande. So it's not, it's affordable, because some of us drink Starbucks every single day. And also kuna QR code ambayo ipo kwenye screen on mine. You can also QR code it or link, you can get that. Na pia kuna mtu ameuliza kuhusu master classes. So Catherine, at some point, if you can talk about your master classes ambazo zinakuja, and whether diaspora can attend. I think you just put that there, that you can sign up for master class. Yeah, talk about that.
And Christine, mara nyingi huwa inatokea nikiwa naongea na watu hivi, huwa wanauliza masterclass, na I have made it a rule for me to give a 50% discount kwa watu ambao wanalipa siku hiyo kwenye webinars zangu zote, kwa sababu mtu akiuliza ina maana anataka, na kwa sababu wanapush watu kutake action. Kama mtu yuko serious, I've given you the link. Karibu, the offer iko 24 hours. Ukikliki utaona after 24 hours inarudi kwenye original price automatically. Kwa hiyo ile price inakuwa haipo tena. Kwa hiyo every time I have a webinar huwa na set 50% discount kwa masterclass ambayo iko scheduled. So for now zilizobaki ni ya online, iko moja ambayo ni tarehe 1 mpaka tarehe Monday to Friday, tarehe 1 mpaka tarehe 5 December. That will be a very powerful way to complete your year. Na utakuta a few testimonials kwenye your page. You can listen to them if you think itakusaidia. Let's come. We finish the year strongly together. Karibu sana.
So you have your link. So
Yeah.
I sijui nisemeje, watu ambao sisi diaspora ambao tuko Marekani, Catherine is doing this virtually using I believe you're using systems ambazo za watu ambao wamefanya vitu Marekani, za watu wa Marekani to do your stuff, right? A lot of them.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you're able to reach many people worldwide. So CC is something that we can definitely do as well. I know there's a lot of people here who are they're big experts. People, Kaka Shabani, umesema you are what you think. Kaka Shabani, I would like to hear your voice. Too quiet.
No, nilikuwa na shida kidogo na hii app hapa, naona inanisumbua kwenye voice. I wasn't able to get to the speaker thing over here. Yeah, so I think this is a good conversation. It brings opportunities to people who want to leverage other areas of their expertise so they can turn that into cash, right? So it's a good opportunity for a lot of people to actually learn and use some of these strategies to empower themselves. I've done a lot of this in my own life. I ran a school in Tanzania from America with over 300 students, and is going successfully. I also run businesses in Uganda, and they are all going well. So you can do the 9 to 5 and at the same time prepare yourself to do other stuff as well. So there's opportunity for that. So I'm glad I took the time to actually join and listen in. Thank you.
So, ongera sana Kaka Shabani. We need more examples from you, ambaye ni diaspora, that you are able to do this, because one of the big things ambazo hata kuja tu kwenye sessions kama hizi inakuwaga shida, because people saying I'm busy. So we're trapped so much in this rat race, and tunajisahau na muda unaenda. So we need to hear more of your stories, and if you don't mind, Kaka Shabani, how did you make the leap into doing all that? Maybe kama una any tips za kushare with us.
No, I'm not driven by money. That's my problem. Like I see a lot of talk is about making money. For me, it was not about money. It was about caring the people I grew up with to the level that their kids can be successful. So I grew up in a very small town, actually a village. And through my years living in the US, when I go there, talk to the kids, I was seeing like, oh, those kids are being left behind. So I thought, like, there's a way that I can actually empower these kids. I might not be able to rescue their parents, who are the people that I grew up with, but I can actually impact the kids. So I just started like very simple, like looking at how can I augment what the school system in Tanzania is actually doing, just a support system. So I started with a simple library with books. So I built something behind my mom's house in a small town. And the first day that we opened up, I was hoping that maybe like 10, 20 kids will show up. There were 120 kids that showed up. So I saw this market, there's opportunity. So once I saw these an opportunities, and during that time when I actually started, I was actually doing a PhD in education. So I learned a lot of theories about there is one particular theory that actually pushed me to start this school. It was a grounding theory, because I have seen a lot of like big NGOs, big embassies spending billions of money in education, and you can't count what they have done for the past like 50 years. Right? They spend a lot of money, like in Danida, like USAID, whatever. They spend billions of money, like every year, but the impact is completely unnoticeable in some aspect. So I talk to the people in the village. How can we actually elevate our education and help our young kids who are coming up, so they can actually be competitive with the people that are like mostly like at this time in Tanzania, most of people who have money, they send their kids to these English medium schools. And in my village, there's none of that. So these kids are growing up in an area with public schools, and they will never be able to compete with those people that are going to Marianne, going to Tanganyika international school. So I thought like it would be nice for me to leverage what I know and create a school that will have that impact, that I think it will be able to empower these kids to be in equal levels with the kids that are coming from better to do people in the country. And that's how it started.
Wow. Yeah, and we've been following you, and you do amazing work for our communities, and it's just, yeah, it's very inspirational. Maybe you can even share your website to just share the work you've been doing. Hongera sana in what you do. So anybody else who wants to share any experiences they've had, questions they may have. And actually, Kaka Shabani, is not only about money. Yeah, it's also impact, right? So kama ulivyoona hapo kwenye hiyo, if you go back, Catherine, we can see your screen and your emails. But if you go back to that, Catherine, okay, yeah, there is inasema more impact and more money. So yours is more impact driven, right? Which is absolutely any understandable and acceptable. So
But
it's
I'm
both.
making more money now, so.
Oh, you see, like great, wonderful, yeah, that's great, and it's important. Like, hey, money is important. You can make more impact with more money. That's why Gates Foundation is the largest foundation, because they have the money to be able to, make that impact, right? So let's not forget about that. Kaka Alfred, you have your hand up. I don't know if you wanted to say something. Au ni old hand, au kama kuna mtu mwingine. So I'm gonna go into, I'm gonna pull people ambao najua. Kwame, if you're there, because Kwame is a football coach. Unaona, na kwa watoto. And he's been doing really well. Na mtoto wake has been doing amazing well in that area. Kwame, do you want to say something? Because you spend a lot of time as a coach and traveling everywhere, because that also is something ambayo it's very, it really is an expertise na talent na kitu ambacho unakipenda kufanya that can really benefit a lot of our community and the world. Kwame, are you there? And we have two sports, and I'm gonna bring Kaka Alan, you're next, because you're also another sports person. And I really would like you to talk about your tournament coming up, your basketball. Yeah, Kwame.
Karibuni sana, asante sana, and thanks for putting on a spot. Nakubaliana na kaka kila mtu alichosema hapo, na I know personally I follow sana Kaka Shabani, and I do the same thing, not only on sports but at school back home. I do a lot of projects that I believe that one hand, kwenye Biblia nasema ukitoa mkono mmoja mwingine usijue anatoa. I normally do it for the love of it. I'm not about the money, but the blessing and the capital that I get out of it, it's beyond imagination. In terms of traveling and coaching and stuff, this generation ambayo sasa hizi kama sio kama sisi ndio tumekuwa sisi ambao wazazi wetu walikuwa na anytime you want to talk to your dad or your mom unaonyesha matokeo yako ya shule. Like this generation is way different. Especially everybody wants to be a blogger. Everybody wants to have their own business. Everybody has to want to be the person who makes a difference. How can we bridge that? Can we train this generation to be self-independent, self-observant, and at the same time to have a peace of mind? This world has so much things that is coming thrown our ways. I see the kids every single day. As you speak right now, I'm in Idaho for a game. That's why I can only listen for a while. But the thing is, I'm trying to say we have to balance between all this what we have and what we want to achieve, and how can we do that and still have a peace of mind, and still be able to function, and still be able to be happy and healthy and enjoy what your dreams have to do. Mi nawaambia watu mara nyingi I can inspire to be somebody, but everybody has a different path. So you find your own path, and we're here to help you how to achieve it. I think
Kaka,
untouched, yeah.
yes. Kaka Kwame, we need to monetize those skills that you have of being a football coach. Especially I can see so many opportunities for you for that already. So we need to, even though it's impact, but you can impact more people when you're able to generate money as well. But like you said, it's your path. Kaka Allen Rabutaza, I know you have you umejikita kwenye basketball. And then after you, I would really kuna author. We have diaspora authors now more, but I would like Dada Benedetto, who's a chef, and she made a cookbook. So to say something about how she did that, and also share where she also sells her book on Amazon. So she can also share her link as well. Kaka Allen?
Yeah, yes. Kwanza napenda sana kuwashukuru kwa kufanya effective
You're
kujifunza
breaking
mengi
up. You're
na
breaking up, Kaka Allen.
oh, wait. Can you hear me better? Can you
Yeah.
hear me good?
Yeah.
Okay, nasema asanteni sana kwa kuandaa hii kitu. Hii Zoom meeting iko very productive, very effective. Jifunza mengi kutoka kwa Kabuka hapo. Tina napenda sana so na timu yako ya so anyways
Sijui upo unacheza kwenye basketball because tunakusikia you're breaking up a lot.
okay, hold on, let me see here. Hold on. Let me check here.
While you're
can you hear me better?
Yes.
Is it better now?
Yeah.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes, tunakusikia.
Okay. Sasa sijui nianze wapi? Nianze tena upya au vipi?
Hapana, endelea hapo ulipo.
Okay. Sawa. Sasa nasema kwamba sisi tunashughulika na mambo ya wealth management. Tuna institutional clients na retail clients katika mambo ya retail. Ngoja niingie directly katika mambo ya retail ambao nahusika na mambo ya okay, when it comes to wealth kuna dimensions kama 4 za wealth. Pale mwanzoni wakati mnaanza meeting mmeanza kuzielezea, lakini mi huwa naona mind, body, spirit na finances. Kwa hiyo physical health ni part ya is another form of wealth. Kwa hiyo katika hii tournament yetu tukazoifanya this coming Memorial Weekend ambao ni May 22nd till 25th, theme ni kwamba your health is your wealth. Kwa hiyo tuna organize, kuna timu 4 za wanaume na timu 2 za wanawake. Tunafanya hivi kusaidia, kuweka wanajumuia pamoja, watu wanatoka states mbalimbali wanakuja hapa, tunafanya kama some form of reunion.
Hello, yeah, so sorry, kuna simu ilikuwa inaingia hapa, najaribu kuikata, sorry. Yeah, so tunafanya tournament, kwa hiyo watu wengi wanatoka from different states,
kutoka US. Kwa hiyo nakaribisha wote kama mtaweza kuja vile vile. Kwa hiyo kutakuwa na sessions tofauti, kuna panels, tuna discuss mambo ya business, tunafanya networking vile vile. Kwa hiyo watu wengi wanakuja. Last time ofisa kutoka ubalozini na alikuja hapa, Mr. Richard Lupembe, na this coming May anakuja vile vile. Kwa hiyo tutafanya mambo mengi, so na nyewe wote karibuni. Mmeongelea kuhusu impact. So mimi nikiwa na operate, when we operate as an organization, we try to bring impact to the community, to humanity all over. So session ya leo ambayo alikuwa naongelea hapa dada Kabuka hapa, I'm very surprised kwamba ameongelea vile, yani mimi na operate, I operate exactly the same way na yeye anavyosema, alivyoelezea kila kitu almost. Na of course I'm not perfect katika hizo levels 5 alivyoelezea, na mimi I have that picture in mind. Ni kama vile ameelezea system na model ambao wanaitumia. So I'm so happy kwamba kusikia kwamba I think I might be doing the right thing because I'm using the same or very, very similar. If you go to robutata.com, you'll see everything that we do in our firm. Anyway, sitaongea sana, sitaki kuchukua muda mwingi, lakini kwa sababu ni hivyo, napenda kuwashukuru sana kwa hii session, na naombeni muwe mnaendeleza kama hivi, kwa sababu nitakuwa na login kila mara. Nimefaidika na nimejifunza mengi. Asanteni.
Karibu sana kakale, nimeweza kuweka link to your basketball classic in 2026, and if you went to any of the high schools, secondary schools, and primary schools ambazo ziko listed hapa, I am a Jangwani person and Mzizima alumni. I think Catherine, you're a Jangwani alumni as well. You're welcome to the basketball tournament. And lastly, before we have final words with Catherine, ningependa kumkaribisha Benedetta ambaye she is a chef and she has her book. And atueleze kidogo like how she sees the framework, labda aliweza kuiapply some things and tips ambazo unaweza ukashare pia kwa diaspora wenzako. Dada Benedetta. Dada Benedetta upo? I know you're here. Sijamsikia. Naona labda kama anapata changamoto ya ya unmuting. Benedetta? Okay. So kama akija baadaye, then we'll get back to her because it's good to share these examples za watu ambao tuko kwenye community yetu ambao wameweza kufanikiwa kufanya vitu vingine zaidi ya kuajiriwa au kuweza kupita hizo levels nyingine, because it makes sense kwamba okay, then what I'm able to do that as well. So just in terms of final questions, najua umeshaongelea kuhusu masterclass. What's next for you after this book? Any exciting projects on the horizon?
Nipo sasa, sijui na mnanisikia?
2026?
Hello?
Yeah. Dada Benedetta.
Habari zenu, sijui mnanisikia, manake unmute inanipa shida kidogo hapa. Najaribu ku-unmute, sijui mnanisikia?
Tunakusikia, karibu.
Asante sana watu wote ambao mpo hapa kwenye hii platform kwa sasa. Mi naitwa Benadetta Mlunde Bartlett, ni mzaliwa wa Tanzania na kwa professional mimi ni hotelia kwa miaka 30 sasa. Nimekuwa nikifanya kazi kwenye hoteli, nilianzia Tanzania, then baadaye nilikwenda Doha, Qatar, nikafanya huko kama miaka 2, then baada ya hapo nilihamia kufanya kazi Ras Al Khaimah. Ras Al Khaimah ni UAE, mji ambao uko kama 45 minutes kutoka Dubai International Airport. Then baada ya hapo nimekuja kufanya kazi Marekani, na kote huko nimetembea kwa ajili ya kufanya kazi hii ya hoteli. Professional yangu ni ya hoteli. Na kwa hiyo baadaye nikiwa hapa Marekani nikaja nikafikiria ili wazo la kutunga kitabu cha mapishi ya Tanzania. Kipo Amazon, kinaitwa Hakuna Matata Kitchen. Najua kuna wengine tayari mmeshakisikia au kuna wengine pia bado, lakini kitabu changu kipo tangu Januari tulikilaunch. Ila bado tutaendelea na hizo launching kidogo. Hapa tulistop katikati, kuna mambo mengine yalikuwa yameingia. Na wakaribisha sana, na pia nampongeza mwandishi mwenzangu Catherine Kahabuka, sijui nimetamka vizuri. Na pia nakupongeza kwa kitabu chako. Asante kwa kutukaribisha kwenye hii platform yako ya leo, na nimejifunza kiasi mambo fulani kutoka kwako. Wanasema kila siku tunatakiwa tujifunze, tusichoke kujifunza. Na nafikiri mambo yangu ni hayo, sina mengi sana. Mkaribie, mjifunze mapishi na mjivunie kama Watanzania na watu wa East Africa. Mjivunie kitabu hichi. Nimeweka mapishi 180 nimeweka kwenye hicho kitabu, na ni kitabu kinakuwa kama shule hata kwa watoto wetu ambao wanazaliwa ugaibuni. Wengine wanazaliwa wanakuambia pilau inapikwaje au biriani inapikwaje. Basi kwenye kile kitabu atajipatia na ataenda step by step hadi mwisho. Nafikiri nimalizie hapo. Asanteni sana.
Asante na pia asante sana dada Benadetta, na ni chef wetu ambaye hata kwenye tukiwa tuna event pia amesha kutengenezea why am I forgetting? Tengeneza urojo. Yes.
Zanzibar mix.
So kwa Zanzibar mix, if anybody anakuwa anahitaji hiyo, lakini
kwenye ile event ya mwisho.
Yes. Okay. And I've also put another kuna launch ambayo inatokea sasa hivi ya mwenzetu is a children's book by Zawadi Sakapala. I've also put a link to her and for her book. All these are great gifts for people ambao wangeweza kuwapa, especially sasa hivi holidays zinaanza. Na jamani, tusaidieni kusaidia wenzetu. The more we support each other, the better we can be, right? How the Israelis do it and how Indians do it. So let's show up for each other. Now, katika just a couple questions for you, Catherine, before we close for today. The first one nimeshakwambia, kama unaweza ukatuambia what's next. Najua up to the end of the year kuna masterclass. You're doing launches in Uganda and Kenya in a couple of weeks, and then you have the launch. You have your masterclass in December.
Still
what's next in 2026? What can we expect from you?
Yeah, thank you, Christian. Kwa kujibu haraka, and it is something that I'm hoping to also share with people. Ukiwa unafanya kitu, it's something that I learned. If you can use a framework in a guide everything else kwenye business, it's a very good strategy. So that's what I've done also kwenye hii framework. So the framework from muscle to brain is going to guide everything I'm going to be doing next. The framework itself in a kitabu, in a dedicated book kwa kila level. So next year, my hope is to write 2 more books, dedicated book for level 2, how to become and succeed as a consultant in any field. So basically that's the masterclass. Ambayo ndio ninakuwa ninafundisha kwa watu ambao wanataka kuoperate at level 2. Ingawa some of the information is applicable kwenye level 3, ambayo I hope also to write another book kwa level 3, how to run a successful consulting firm, ambayo itafocus kwenye mambo ya delegation etc. Lakini pia next year, if God wishes, I'm planning to run a podcast on the From Muscle to Brain framework ambayo ita dig deeper kwa kuinvite watu ambao wana operate kwenye different level who are highly successful kwenye level tofauti na kuweza kuwaomba washare na watu wengine what it took for them to become successful, changamoto, wamewezaje kufika hapo walipofika. So I'll be bringing voices za professionals wana operate kwenye different levels for other people to learn from them.
Fantastic. Amazing.
Yeah,
We can't
yeah.
wait to have so umeona tayari you have audiences here. We hope kwamba you will also be able to be a platform where diaspora stories can be told. We don't get to be in the limelight as much kama nyumbani, so no, umeshapata watu hapa. Kuna kaka Shabani, kuna kaka Kwame, kuna Benedetta, yani there's several people ambao tayari kaka Alan ambao tunaomba kwamba kama unaweza ukawa invite kwenye your podcast when it comes, that would be fantastic. Lastly, how can people
Absolutely.
continue to be connected with you? Labda unaweza kushare how can they continue to be connected with you kama
Yeah.
wanataka kuendelea kuengage na wewe na the movement that we talked about.
So absolutely. Kwenye hilo swala, LinkedIn is the best place to connect with me. Na labda ni share newsletter. I have the Muscle to Brain newsletter ambao na share tips kila Monday. And that's where I think follow, you can get access kwenye whatever I'm going to be sharing. I have an email list. And these are things that nimekuwa najifunza pia. I hope you guys mnavitumia pia. If you are ukiwa unapanda kwenye hizo levels, newsletter, email list, this is where you have people who can buy your subsequent products that you can keep impacting with your expertise. So I invite you to join my email list as well. There are a lot of links kwenye nanili. So should I add those or?
Yeah, just add there. People will take. Add your links as well.
Let me add my
last,
link then.
Yeah. Lastly, as we do that, naomba sana kama if we can take a pause and go to the link, the last link that's on there on Amazon, and please buy the book. If it's not for you, then it's for your friend ambao unafikiri unahitaji. Kama nilivyosema, it's just 2 cups of coffee the Starbucks, so it should be fine. Please go and buy it. I'm going to take a few minutes to do that before our last closure. Naomba uweke thumbs up if you bought it already.
I greatly appreciate your support. If you do, it will mean a lot to my movement.
No thumbs up? Even a single one? Thank you,
Yani ndio tuko kwenye process, tupe kama dakika 2 basi. Tina, una haraka? Yani ndio tumeingia kwenye kwenye Amazon link.
Asanteni sana in advance. It's only $9.
Okay, kwa hiyo nimekununua cha kwako pamoja na Hakuna Matata Kitchen.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, lovely.
Oh, thank you
lovely.
so much, Judy. Thank you. Jamani mwingine, before we close. Before we close, jamani, yani ndo kaka Alfred, Vanessa, Liz, Asha, kaka Amin. It's a great book. Watu wetu, they are very shy.
Hakikisha una share hizo kwenye magrupu pia ya WhatsApp ya.
Yeah. Alafu pia nimemwambia dada Catherine kwamba have it in audiobook kwa sababu watu kusoma inakuwaga shida, lakini tukisikiliza tukiwa kwenye gari, tukiwa tunafanya vitu vingine, majukumu, inakuwa rahisi, tunaenda faster. Jamani, niseme labda nikuruhusu Catherine useme your final word to our diaspora audience. And yeah, we can close up.
Thank you. Labda mimi nimalize tu kwa kusema nashukuru sana kwa hii nafasi ya kuongea na diaspora in the US. Pia I'm proud of all of you with everything you're doing. Those who shared na ambao hawakushare, najua wote tunapambana, wote we are impacting people. But the book will show you how to impact even more people with everything that you're doing, really. I'm still learning, and let's continue learning from each other. I look forward to engaging with you more in other avenues. Thank you.
I just want to
Yeah.
thank everybody, and definitely I will buy both the books in just a
Thank you
few
so much.
minutes. Yeah.
I appreciate
Thank you
it.
so much, Liz. Thank you. Jamani, niwashukuruni sana wote kwa kutumia muda wenu, kwa kutenga muda wenu. For 2 hours we've been here now to listen to Catherine sharing gems to us ambazo zinaweza zikatupropel from level 1 to level 5 and beyond. Is there a level 6 maybe?
No.
No, there's no level 6 that one can go
No.
to. Yeah, that's it. Okay,
Hapana.
so
Yeah.
yeah, na I hope kwamba tutachukua muda huu baada ya hii session, few minutes, just reflect on what did you learn and what can you take from what you learned. What would you do differently? Kwa sababu ndio hiyo muda wa kureflect, nao tunakuwa tunasahau, tunajisahau. Lakini Catherine, karibu nyumbani in the US and I know you were here recently in New York. For a very short period of time. It was your first time in the United States, right?
Yes.
Lakini karibu sana tena na tena. Marekani sisi tupo,
Nashukuru
lakini
sana.
pia watu ambao tutakwenda nyumbani, please don't hesitate to reach out to Catherine, but kama alivyosema, you need to have an appointment first. Asanteni sana wote na have a
Yeah.
good weekend.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
you.
Bye.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
everyone. Bye-bye. Bye. Thank you, Christine, for organizing for this session.
Karibuni sana.